Hello! Today I want to make a comparison between Valour Fortitude and one of the most popular Napoleonic game, Black Powder. Come and see! Welcome back to the channel. Here you can see the outcome of my last test. I made a few tests of Black Powder, which I played years ago and then moved to Valor Fortitude. And this is the outcome of the battle, where the French crushed the British line, unusually I have to say, but it is what it is, the game. So, the comparison between the two games and which, in my opinion, for me, let me specify this, for me, is the best of the two. So, starting with the rule set, Black Powder is a large tome and have lots of expansion for the Peninsular and the European campaign, the Russian invasion. And this put on the table lots of rules, lots of specification, many things that player have to take in mind. And this is good from one side, and for someone like me, bad. Let me explain why. One of the thing that I like very much from Black Powder is the order system, because you give your order to every single troop or your brigade. I'm not here to explain how the game works because it's one of the most popular games, so everyone probably knows it. The fact that you can say move here, open in line, or occupy that wood at the best as your possibility, etc., is one of the best things that I love in Black Powder. And the other very good stuff is the list making, the list building, because you have so many options that you can easily replicate whatever you want, and you have option to make large, small, tiny units. You have the option to have the mixed order, or you have a skirmisher, so on. So a very detailed possibility to make your list as much historical as possible. What I don't like in Black Powder system, but is my opinion, is the high number of dice that you have to roll. For example, here in this brigade made of two small unit of skirmisher, 2 column, 1 leger, 1 artillery. If you want to make different move, you have to give order to every one of this. And order system, if from one side is great because it's really replicate the possibility to do different stuff, precise stuff, it has a drawback that you have to roll so many dice, and the average morale for your commander, the average ability is 7 or 8, and 8 is just good. Probably 7 is the average, but for the French and for the British, Austrian, Russian, Prussian have different penalty to add to this equation, and most of the time you cannot achieve whatever you want, which is part of the game. It's just this part of the reality. Order in Napoleonic era is something very empirical, the execution of the order, because aide camp have to run here and there, execute, the general execute whatever they want. But here the probability to achieve exactly what you want as a player is harder, and many times you have to lose a turn because your troop doesn't make what you want, or the entire brigade failed the activation, and if you are French you can act on initiative, otherwise you stay where they are. And is, if historically acceptable, let me say this, make the game longer, because you have to roll a lot of dice, and sometimes you waste a turn, do nothing apart some shooting. And the other thing that I don't like is the disorder mechanic, because a disordered unit cannot do anything and is a waste of time too. And it's not so difficult to obtain a disorder. You need a 6, and when you shoot with enough troop, it's not so hard to get your troop disordered. The first round of shooting by the Brits, they disorder an entire brigade, and this is a waste of time in my opinion. Let me explain. I do not criticize the system, because every system is positive and is drawback. But in a game when you need larger table, I use the small one just for test, but I know that larger table is needed, especially with 28mm miniatures. Moving so many miniatures take time. Rolling dice, so many dice take time, and waste turn after turn increase the time that you have to play a game. And this is probably the worst aspect of Black Powder, in my opinion, because it's for the same amount of miniature on the table compared to Valour Fortitude, you have to take into account at least the double time to play a game. And when you play solo, like me, or you play with your friend and you want to make something bigger than a couple of brigade, you need a lot of time to play it. On the contrary, Valor Fortitude has few rules. 4 pages of rule made by Jarvis Johnson, you know, but Jarvis work on Black Powder too, so it works on both game, and probably the result, Valor Fortitude, the result of refination of the game to make something quick, something different. I cannot say better, because it's a personal opinion if it's better or not. Different. And the system of Valor Fortitude, where you have to roll for your order, but a 1 stop an entire brigade. Otherwise, you can do whatever you want in a selection of small number of activation, move, assault, charge, move at the double, okay, for a few steps from one side, make easier to do whatever you want. On the other side is less historical probably, or less complicated, which could be a good stuff or a bad stuff for someone else. The system of fire melee is quite similar, and the outcome is also quite similar, because let me say, I don't want to enter in the rule, but when you have to test for a side which is a winner, on a 7+, the loser stay, and 7+ is the average of 2d6. You have to roll a 4+ in Valor Fortitude, which is slightly better than the average, because it's 3.5 on a single d6. So the possibility is quite the same. Valor Fortitude is in or out. If you lose the battalion. In Valor Fortitude you have in Black Powder you have lots of options. A retreat, a full move back, they stay where they are, etc. So again, more possibility. Units during quite longer on the table, which could be good or be bad, again, depending on the situation. Because in Valor Fortitude, when casualties start to mount, they mount very quickly, and the game is quite over when the two armies clash in a subsequence of melee such this that you are looking for. The game is quite over, and one side is going to win or to lose, because when casualties start to mount, they mount very, very quickly, and this is not the same in Black Powder, because with many options on the result, this will end in prolong the game, which again could be good or not, depending on what you are looking for. The last things that I want to compare here is the list building. As I said before, I like the way the Black Powder allow you to make whatever you want, real historical. If you play in 15 or 10 mil, you can even replicate exactly the order of battle for a large battle, and I don't take in account the time that you need to play, for example, Talavera or Austerlitz or whatever you want. In 28 mil it depends on your collection, and because if you have not enough battalion to really put down a Talavera, it could be complicated. But Black Powder offer you so many possibilities to be veteran, to be elite, to be reliable, top fighter, ferocious, etc. Lots of ability that is not present in Valor Fortitude. And I feel that the single dice activation and the list building is the point that experienced player don't like so much in Valor Fortitude. But let me say that the list building in Valor Fortitude is, from one side, quite easier, on the other side is very, very flexible, and in any case allow you to replicate quite easily whatever you want. It requires knowledge. It requires, let me say, study about what you want to put down. But with the list system of Valor Fortitude, you can replicate the same thing that you can achieve in Black Powder. You have the option to make larger or small unit. You can upgrade to elite tenacity, make them better in melee. Elite shooting, make better in shooting. Elite in tenacity, make them stronger with an higher value of break point, and elite melee grant them a much better fighter. And then with simple rules in the army-wide list allow you to replicate quite good the aspect of every nation. France have Alan and battery. Austrian have mass and also battery. British have linear tactics, which make them better when they are in line rather than in column. They cannot have a sole column either in Valor Fortitude and in Black Powder. So yes, you have to work a little bit more in creating your list, but you can replicate quite easily this and obtain the same result of Black Powder. Both the game have some drawback using artillery in both the game. It's hard to replicate on the tabletop. So the last thing that I have to say is that with Valor Fortitude, just for the Jervis Johnson policy, it's easier to introduce home rule to cover the aspect that you feel luck, and maybe in the rule or in the list building. It's a little bit different, a little bit difficult for Black Powder to introduce home rule due to the fact that they have a huge amount of rule, and when you put an home rule into a rule set, you have to be sure that do not conflict with other rule or make one unit so much better that became too powerful, etc. On Valor Fortitude, with so few rule, if you feel that artillery doesn't work and the way that you want, you can make a home rule, try it, and it's easier. I told because I did some home rules to add with this a little bit complication, a little bit deeper than the base rule offer you. But with the base rule, you can achieve a very enjoyable Napoleonic system, which is simple, but let me say, is not so simplistic. For this reason, I have to say that I prefer Valor Fortitude over Black Powder. I sincerely give the game some try, and if will happen, I will play some game. But for me, Valor Fortitude has a sum of good point that make it better for me. Less time to play large game and even small game. Less building that give you the possibility to make essentially whatever you want. So it can cope with the lack of information and the possibility with the system that allow you to cover this lack of option, making whatever you want. And you can add some home rule to cover the aspect that the basic rule don't offer you. So that's it. This is my opinion about this comparison. It's not all here because I want to try another system, is General d'Armée 2, which look great on the chart and on the video, but I had few experience to express a personal opinion either on that game. So, and the next week I will try General d'Armée 2, and then I will make another video comparison the two games. At the moment, in my personal opinion, Valor Fortitude is a little bit above Black Powder, and so this is the reason and the motivation why I still play it. Oh, the last thing, and is not the smallest one, because I play mostly solo game, a game with less rules to remember, less table to crisscross result, etc. Help you a lot in game and in keep track of what happened on the table, and to conclude the game in reasonable time, because you have to play both sides, even if you use something like an EA, as I did with Valor Fortitude. That's it for the moment. Thank you for watching, and hope to see you as soon as possible. For now, happy wargaming, and bye bye!